Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the NYSID Word on the Street podcast. My name is Emily. I'm a mentor and social worker from the NYSID program at PS16, and I'm joined by two amazing guests today. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm a mentor and social worker with PS10.
Hi, I'm Genesis. I'm a mentor at PS10.
And so first, I just want to say happy holidays, everybody, right? Because, the holiday season is here. We have Christmas, New Year's, all the other holidays around us at this time. So something that I did want us to touch on for the main topic of this episode is like goal setting and resolutions, because we're entering into a new year. So, it's time to set, or usually it's time to set some goals for ourselves and try to work towards achieving some new things in the new year. So first, kind of reflecting a little bit, looking at the past year of our lives, what do you guys think were some of the highs and lows for this year? Anything that was really great that happened this year? Anything that maybe wasn't super great? Anything that you can look back on and kind of reflect on at this time?
Personally, I didn't have many lows, but I'm married. My husband, he's going through a lot right now, so it's been tough trying to keep him strong, be positive when it's usually his role to be the positive one.
Yeah.
And now I have to be it for him. But the high in my life right now is definitely my baby.
Yeah, oh, that's nice. What about you, Jess? What do you think? Highs and lows?
Yeah, so personally, I don't really have much lows that I can think of off the top of my head right now. But highs, I guess, would just be, just being here in the present, just planning what's going to be happening next. I got my new house, so I'm excited for that. Thank you. Yes. So that's definitely a high of this year, and I'm excited for that and setting it up and, just being there.
Yeah, that's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
I kind of, like you both said, I don't know if I had a lot of lows. I think this year for me was definitely a year of celebration, so a lot of highs. I finished my master's program. I graduated. That was great. I was looking forward to that for like 2 years, so it finally came. I started working here, which was amazing. Family things. My brother got married, so it was nice to see that happen too, be able to celebrate as a family. My mom turned 65, so a bunch of things to celebrate this year. Lows, I guess kind of the work I had to put in to get to some of those things. I don't know if that would count as a low, but, working towards graduating and getting my degree was a lot of hard work and determination and long nights spent awake writing papers and stuff. So that was definitely not the best, especially when there might have been some times when I wanted to go out and do more stuff, but I knew it would all pay off. So maybe that was a little bit of a low to get to here, which was nice. But what do you think, if you had any, were some goals that you had for yourself this year? Did you have any goals that you set either at any point this year, like at New Year's last year? Did you have a resolution of sorts that you wanted to achieve? And then do you think you reached it? What do you think about that? Because I know it can be hard to actually sit there and think what did I accomplish this year, or what were my goals? But
I had 2 goals. Once I had my baby, I wanted to lose weight because I realized I gained a lot of weight as I was pregnant. I wasn't happy with myself. So I decided to make the change. I got a trainer, got on a meal plan, very strict. So it's been tough, but definitely I've been losing a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So, and another goal, a while back, I took the NYPD exam. So after I gave birth, I was half and half on whether I was going to join or not, but I decided just to give it a go and see if I got in. And I got into this upcoming academy, so...
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so definitely sounds like you achieved them. And then, what do you think, was there anything that you needed to put in? Did you have to put in a lot of work for either of those that you think? I know you mentioned, getting, a specific diet and stuff, but was there anything else that you think really helped you achieve those goals?
My husband definitely helped me because he's the one that cooks.
Yeah.
So he makes my meal plans for me.
Aw.
I don't cook. He helped me. It's just hard, watching people eat good stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Like those donuts.
Oh, sorry.
I gotta hold back. I haven't reached my goal fully.
Yeah.
Just gotta have discipline, which is something I have. and you just gotta have the bigger picture. Like, I already know what I want to look like, so that's what I'm working towards.
Yeah, of course, right? And I feel like similar, but a little different, like in terms of like a bigger picture. Like I knew I wanted to graduate. I knew I wanted to get a job, but it's like, okay, what do I have to do to really get there? And there was a lot of steps to get there. You know, sometimes I was taking it day by day to look at that bigger picture and say, okay, if I want to get here, first I have to do this assignment. Then this one's due next week. And then it's just like day by day, week by week until I hit that finish line of like, okay, I'm done. Now what? Now I have to do a resume. Now I have to do this. So it was a process, but like keeping that bigger picture in mind definitely helps. And I feel like for me too, that I did reach them. And, you know, I'm finally in a place that I feel like at the beginning of this year now, it didn't seem like, it seemed so far away, but now being here it's a really nice feeling. What about you?
I guess my goal for this year was to have more self-care, more positivity,
Okay.
think more positive.
Yeah.
Funny, I'm a social worker. I would think a lot negative
No, I
things.
know what you mean.
Yeah, overthinker, but definitely putting more self-care into myself. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Still working on it, but definitely think I did a lot of that.
Okay. So what do you think like you did specifically this year to get towards that goal or to make progress towards that goal?
Right. So I would write, you know, just how I was feeling, you know, making journals, coloring. I love doing that. So
Yeah.
even like with the kids here at PS10, like I'll sit down and be like, I think I need to color, and I'll just
Yeah.
color if I'm, you know, going on in my mind, things like that. So just little things here and there definitely help me get
Yeah.
better at self-care.
Okay, that's nice. That's definitely, I'm going to touch on that a little later, but that's helpful for me because that's something I want to work on this year. So maybe being more mindful and having like intent behind the things you're doing
Right.
for yourself. So, okay, I like that. That's great. And I know what you mean, social workers, we got to
Right.
work on that sometimes for ourselves. But what do you think was one of the most interesting things out of everything that you learned this year? It could be like while we were trying to achieve those goals, just from the overall experience of it all. Do you think that there was something interesting or a couple of things that you took away from any of those experiences or anything that you learned through them?
I feel like what I've learned this year is that you definitely make an impact on your kids. Mm-hmm. Like definitely, like, you know, it's my last day with the kids was on Friday.
Yeah.
So like seeing all of them be like, no, just, you know, don't leave. We don't want you to go. Things like that. Like, you know, you definitely made an impact on them.
Yeah.
When they're saying things like that. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely sad, you know, felt bad. But like, you know, at the end of the day, you got to do what's good for yourself, and they'll always know that you won't forget them. You
Yeah.
know? So that's definitely something I learned.
Definitely, yeah. And I feel like that also goes into self-care, right? Like doing
Yeah.
what's best for you, even though that might be hard.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like looking back at like the whole course of this year, like I feel like one of the things I learned the most is that, you know, hard work, I mean, obviously hard work pays off, but sometimes it's hard to really understand that when you're in it, like when you're doing the work, because you don't really see or understand where that might get you, or like what that might lead you to. So it was interesting to see how, like, here I am now in a place that I thought maybe a year or two ago was like so far away and unimaginable. And yeah, similar to like learning what a difference you can make just by being here and being present and being available for those around you, like the kids. Like I never really thought, or I never understood, I guess, how much of an impact I really could make. Like I've kind of had similar experiences through like internships and stuff, and I understood it, but like being here all the time and being able to be there for the kids has been such an amazing experience. And it's so interesting to see like how much we can do for them, and also how much they can do for us and teach us about ourselves.
Right.
And so that was definitely all of it was really a big learning experience. What do you think?
For me, it was that everything you do in the past definitely catches up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, for the process for the NYPD, they do a background check.
Okay.
So they reach out to different people that know you, even people that you don't remember.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, they look into how you perform in school,
Wow.
any suspensions you might have. Like, all of those things that you, I don't know, as children, you might not care now. In the future, it depends what the kind of job that you want.
Mm-hmm.
It'll affect it.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily, I was pretty good. And even though I did have one suspension, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm a different person. No, really, everything catches up to you, depending on the job, especially if it's a city job, especially
Yeah.
NYPD, they look into these things. So, you know. when you're children, you don't really think about it, but when you're older, you're like, I'm glad I didn't do certain things.
Yeah.
They would have known.
Yeah, definitely, right? Like keeping that in mind, right? Like it's going to catch up with you one day. That day might not be today, but maybe in the future when you're charting your career.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to get dug up or like what's going to come back. So that is really interesting. I never considered that either. Like you do, but you don't maybe until it happens. But okay, that is really interesting. And that's kind of good advice leading into our next question is like, what advice would you give someone based on the lessons that you learned this year? What advice do you think that you could lend somebody else? I think that's a great start. Definitely is like things might catch up with you, so maybe being more mindful.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like, really just keep going, even when it gets tough. I feel like just keep pushing through and then you'll make it to the place that you want to be at. I feel like for me, I know I probably said it like 3 times already, but it really did feel so impossible. I feel like when you're in it, or maybe it was just me, how I was with school and stuff, but it just felt so impossible for the idea to be like, oh, one day I'm going to finish this and move on to something new. So just keep going and just put your all into it and you'll get where you want to be. And also I feel like kind of similar, but like change, because a lot of change was going on for me personally and like, my career, my family. Change isn't always a bad thing. So welcome that and be open to new things and new opportunities because they can be really, really amazing.
Right. I agree with that. And speaking off of that, I guess it would just be to always take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Put your thoughts in your mind first because they are valid thoughts. And, if you always have to speak to someone, always look towards a friend or someone that you're able to speak to so that way you can get through whatever it is that you need.
Yeah, looking for that support and taking it. Yeah. Definitely. I think that's some great advice. So I think we're going to leave off here for a quick minute. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we can talk more about looking forward and moving ahead into the new year and the future. All right, so welcome back. Like I said before, we're going to talk a little bit more now about moving ahead because, like I said, new year, new year, new me, all that jazz and stuff like that. So looking forward for the new year, what do we think is coming? What do we see for ourselves in this new year? So in what areas of your life, whether it's personal, professional, social, any emotional, mental, anything like that, where do you think that you would want to see some growth for yourself throughout the new year? Where are you hoping to grow throughout this year? I know that's kind of a hard one because even me, I have to like sit and think about that for a minute because I don't know. I feel like initially the first thing that came to mind for me was something that you said before. I really want to improve, and I feel like I say this every year, but like this year I'm really going to hold myself to it. I really want to improve on time management and self-care. And I feel like those things kind of go hand in hand because we need to be able to manage our time a little better. In some cases, in order to be able to do more stuff for ourselves. So like I know for me, I really don't prioritize myself the best sometimes. And I tend to put a lot of other things before myself and what I want to do and my own self-care pretty much. So that kind of takes the back burner a lot of the time. And I put like my family and my job and my social life and everything else really before that. And it's not always an issue, but then I notice there are times, right, where I feel super burnt out and I'm just like exhausted from things and I feel like, if maybe I was a little bit better at like time management and practicing self-care more of like a regular routine that I wouldn't be able to, or I wouldn't have those moments and that would be, or have less of them at least. And that would be pretty nice to not have that constant like, oh, I should be doing more of this or I should be doing this for myself and actually be like, oh, this is when I'm going to do this because I have this schedule and I know when I'm going to be able to do more for myself and what I want to do, because I also feel like I don't know what I might necessarily want to do for self-care sometimes. So that's where I want to see the most growth this year.
Right. I would say that I would want to see growth in my career.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I want to be more than what I'm doing now and kind of just like gain more experience, more skills to better myself in my career, make the more money, be more happy.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I definitely want to see growth.
Okay.
Is definitely that.
In your career, where do you see yourself, or do you have an idea of like where you want to go from here? Like, where do you want to go next in terms of your career? Is there like a specific area you would want to work in, or population, or?
Not specifically an area, just more like I'd probably go and get my license.
Yeah.
Definitely that was something that probably could have been a low from the earlier conversation.
Yeah.
Didn't get my license.
Yeah.
So I definitely should think of that and figure out the steps to get that. That's definitely like where I want to see growth.
Yeah.
Is that.
You know what? I honestly have to say the same thing because I didn't even think of it until you just said that. That is definitely a goal for this year. I want to get my license because I graduated and I was just like, I want to get a job. And then that kind of, I put that on the back burner and like, I didn't think right away. Like I was like, I have time. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
And now I'm getting a little nervous. The nerves are setting in that like, I didn't get it yet and I should have gotten it and I should be studying and all that. And I don't want to just keep putting it off like I have been. So you know what? Same thing for me as well, getting my license. So like you said, you can do more in your career moving forward. Definitely. Do you have any areas you think that you would want to grow in throughout the year?
I want to grow professionally, definitely financially and spiritually. I want to start. I'm always talking to God, but I want to start actually like showing up to His house, going to church more often. I want to create that routine for when my baby gets older. He has a base to lean on. And professionally, for the NYPD, I want to see where that takes me.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I got to be a patrol cop, but beyond that, I want to see what else is out there for me.
Yeah. Kind of like what I said to Jess. Is there like something that you want to do specifically in the NYPD? Is there a certain area or field you want to work in? I know there's so many different things.
They have a lot.
Yeah.
And it's right now, I think it's only because I'm here and it's what I'm familiar with. They have community affairs and explorers. They deal with community, schools, kids. But I feel like that's just because I'm here. Once I get in, I think I would probably be into different things because they have so much to do, and I don't know.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, definitely. I was just gonna say that you don't really know, or you might not know until you get there, which is nice. But it's interesting that they have community-based things because I actually didn't even realize that either. So that's a great segue, I feel like, from here to there. Right. So definitely seems like a lot of professional, personal, spiritual growth for all of us, hopefully throughout the next year. And what do you think, so in that area, right, in what we just talked about, what do you think growth there would look like for you? Like, what are you going to do or, like, see throughout the year that you know I'm improving or I'm growing here? Because, like, I guess in terms of my own self-care, looking back at how I am now or reflecting on how I am now, I think I would need to actually, like, in order to see growth, like, I need to start doing it. Like, I need to start doing something. Like, I need to see actual action and, like, work in that area of my life because I don't put a lot into it right now. And so, like, doing things for myself is going to be how I know I'm making that progress and growing. Like, it might sound silly, but one of the main things I want to do to be, like, better in that area is to cook more. Like, I really don't cook. And to me, it's just easier, like, oh, let me just go get food. Like, it's quicker, it's this, it's that. But, like, I wish I could just sit down or take a day, cook meals, like, prepare for the week and just, like, be ready at work and stuff, so I know I always have a meal, and, like, coming home I have food, and I don't really have to worry about that or, like, spend more money on food or not know if I'm gonna eat or when I'm gonna eat, stuff like that. And that might sound basic, but, like, I know for me that's something that, like, I need to improve on, just, like, the simple things of, like, prioritizing my needs more and actually doing something, like going to bed earlier. There's no need for me to be going to sleep at midnight every night, and, like, that's when I'm going to sleep, like, and then I wake up tired and I wonder why I'm tired because I'm going to sleep at midnight every night. So, like, I can go to bed at 10:30, at least set a little bit earlier, and then work my way up so I'm, like, getting a restful night's sleep and can come in or show up to whatever I have to do the next day feeling good and already on, like, a good foot.
Right. That's a good question. I guess for me, it would just, like, I'm already starting it. So I have a new home, you know, so that's already one step.
Yeah.
I guess, like, the next step would to be, like, seeing the process of how I would get my license where I'm living now, or, you know, like, taking the time to study, like you said, the time management part. You know, a lot of things like that, just taking the little minor steps so that way it's, like, the one big overall, like, goal, you know? So definitely I know like once I start doing those little things, it's going to prepare me for the bigger thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
And, and all the support that I have from my husband, from my family, things like that.
Yeah.
So I already have all of that. It's just the actual putting in and implementing these little steps.
Yeah.
That might seem, like you said, like useless to someone else, but to me, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Because, right, it's like the little things. Because making that big leap might be difficult. And going from like 0 to 100 of being like, okay, I'm not going to study, but let me take my test tomorrow. Like, that's just not going to,
Yeah. A lot of people think that they can just, just jump. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't do those little things in between, it's going to like seem like such a far stretch.
Yeah.
So definitely doing the little things in between is going to help.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that there are any little things that like you want to start doing? Like I know you said like you're connected to God, but you want to be showing up more in church and stuff like that. Like is there any other like little steps in any of those areas you think that like you want to take or how you would see growth?
Well, I've never read the Bible, so I purchased one. I want to start reading it. It's just hard to make the time.
Yeah.
With a baby.
Yeah.
But I would say just gotta set small goals because it's easier to complete everything once you complete one goal at a time instead of just saying I want this one big thing and then you never get to it because it just takes up too much work to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just starting small.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Starting small is just like, and right, like, because you see that big thing, I feel like, at the end, and that thing might seem impossible, but breaking it down can make it so much more manageable, no matter what it might be, right? Like, taking a licensing exam or starting a new career or starting a new habits or putting yourself first, like, breaking that down more and being like, oh, okay, I don't have to do this right now, but what I can start with is this small thing.
Right.
Makes it a little more easier to handle and a good way to approach whatever goal really you have for yourself. When you achieve growth, like if you're going to be achieving growth this year towards those goals, how would you feel in that growth? Like being able to recognize it and really see it and be like, okay, I'm doing this. How do you think that you would feel being able to like see that growth and improvement?
Right. Knowing me, I probably won't feel happy until I know I achieved it.
Yeah.
But I know I have like the support telling me, listen, like you did this small thing, like take that. You know, so that's something I have to learn. Like I have to do the small thing and be like, okay, I took that, like, like I did it.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next thing. So I guess like in that, I would feel like it's not enough. But I know like as I see the progression and as I see the things happening, I said I was going to do to reach that ultimate goal. I know I'd feel happy in it. I would be really happy. I would think to myself like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like in those moments, the little things, it's just not like sometimes it doesn't register as like the biggest deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I know what you mean. Because I'm very much the same way. Like I will see this or like see something happen that I know like other people recognize as like, wow, that's wonderful. Or like a small step towards where you want to go. And I'm just like, yeah, but I also have to do this and that. Or like this didn't work out. So being more positive is definitely something that like I want to be in order to be more like open to my achievements and just proud, I guess, of it.
Right.
Being able to give myself like that, I don't know the word I'm looking for, whether it's my own support or just like my own congratulations for what you're doing right, like the recognition, I guess.
Right.
Because I feel like I don't know if I always feel as strongly towards certain growth or achievements that like I really should. Like I should give myself more of like a pat on the back for things.
Right.
And I feel like honestly, since I've been saying it for so long, if I actually really started cooking and preparing meals for myself, I think I would be so proud because like I've just been saying it forever now and like I haven't done it. So like if I really did that, like it would be amazing like to see myself actually stick to something. And I think maybe that's part of it too, having trouble sticking to my goals. Like saying it is one thing, but then doing it is a complete opposite. Like there's just so much that goes into that.
Yeah.
And even like it's again like silly, but like I just being on top of like drinking water, going to sleep early, like having more of a schedule and being able to see it, I feel like I would actually feel so proud and just like it would be like a rewarding feeling to be to see myself put stuff into myself for once and see like where that takes me and how that pays off. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No,
like
I agree.
yeah.
It definitely makes sense. I just got a new water cup on Christmas, and I have not stopped drinking water.
Really?
Maybe that's what you need, a nice cup.
Maybe it is because I got one a while ago and it just was like, it had like the hours on the side. And I was like, all right, like if this is telling me by 3 o'clock I need to drink up to here, like I'm going to do it. And then it was like 4 o'clock, I drank up to like 8 a.m. I was like, I was like, this is not as helpful as I thought it would be. So I don't know. Everybody got Stanleys for Christmas this year. Like my sister got one. I was like, maybe I need a Stanley cup. I don't know what it is.
I
like,
think that's what it is. That's my cup.
yeah, see, they do a little something extra that like I'm missing out on, I guess. So
Right.
maybe I'll try that. But what do you think? Like, do you think that? How do you think you would feel like being able to see those things come into play that like you would really want to achieve, being able to achieve them or make that progress towards it?
I just want, I want to feel like I'm living a more purposeful life, and just want to be at peace. So I'm trying to take the steps to be a better version of myself for me, for my husband, and for my child. And ultimately just want to be better for those around me, and yeah, just live a peaceful life.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the steps towards that peace. That could entail also being better financially, professionally. If I'm happy, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Right.
So trying to prepare yourself more for that too, and like
Yeah.
working more towards those. Yeah, no, definitely right. Trying to be positive and like be at peace in so many different areas is so helpful too, because like I know myself, and if I'm not mindful of that, or at least I stray away a little, and I just have to like put myself back in check of like, okay, maybe I'm not being the most positive right now, and that's affecting me in these areas. So being mindful of our goals and like
Yes.
maybe how we're working towards them, and how, you know, our attitude or mindset or whatever it is comes into play too, is definitely super important. And what do you think you really see yourself doing in your goals? Do you feel like you can be present for yourself and celebrate yourself? Do you see yourself helping others as a means of achieving your goals? Like, where do you think your goals are focused in, and how do you think you're gonna, like, what do you think you're gonna be doing, I guess, to get there, or along the way? It's gonna be more of a personal thing involving those around us? Because, I mean, they can be both in a way, a lot of them.
Right. I think I would do both.
Yeah.
I would definitely like share my success and failures, you know, with the people that support me. But also like it'd be more personally. Like I can listen to other people, and other people can tell me things, you know, great, bad, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's definitely going to be more about like what I think about myself and how I did the things that I did. You know, so I think I would definitely take more time to reflect on myself.
Yeah.
And like be proud of myself and be happy with myself. And of course, I'm gonna love that other people are happy with me too.
Yeah.
But I definitely have to do it for myself. So I know like once I do it for myself, I'll be happy. Probably jumping up and down. Probably, you know,
Yeah.
telling everybody I gotta tell, and then I'll be excited and happy about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so doing it for yourself first, maybe, and
Yeah.
then being open to that. Yeah.
Right.
I get that too, because I feel like, right, doing it for yourself, or at least for me, doing it for myself would be that initial thing. But maybe to know, I guess, keep in mind how that might impact those around me too. Could
Right.
be something that maybe motivates me a little bit.
Right.
Because I know me, like, it's, again, it sounds so silly, but like me and my boyfriend will tell me all the time, like, just drink water. Like,
Right.
just drink water. Like, it's a bottle of water. Like, and you'll feel so much better. And I know, like, if I could be like, wow, look, I feel good, and this is something that, like, it's a little tiny victory that I have today. And like others would be like, good job. Like, that's, you know, it's something that can be for me and have other people be proud of me too. Maybe not just that example, but bigger things as well.
Right.
And accepting help, or even like looking for help if you need support, like, you know, knowing that you have others around you and that you can rely on them and go to them if you do need support in that goal, or helping others achieve their goals, as like, you know, helping you in a way, having that mutual relationship of being able to help others who are there to support you
Right.
throughout that too. But
Definitely.
yeah, having it both for, I guess, yourself and other people too. Do you think how do you think yours are in that sense? Because I know you said, right, like they're starting personal, some of them, but like you want to have that set up for your son and your family, so those can like become more of a group thing or tradition in a way.
Well, I'll definitely be celebrating,
Yeah.
because this is for me, but it's also for my family, and
Yeah.
it's also just it's for everybody. I know the people that love me are rooting for me, so any success that I make for myself, it's for them as well.
Yeah.
So it will be a cause for celebration.
Yeah. Of course. And it's so, sometimes I don't know about you both, but like for me, it feels hard to celebrate me sometimes. Like I'd rather celebrate literally everybody else around me, like than look at myself and be like, this is a great accomplishment. But sometimes it's great when you are accomplishing a goal and then you can actually see, like when I graduated, it was just like, it was crazy to see how happy everybody else was around me. And like I was happy too, but like
Right.
to be able to see that like, wow, all of these people were there supporting me and like all of their love and everything they kind of put into me throughout this process really paid off. And then to sit back and celebrate myself too was just a really great experience. And that's something I guess that maybe I'll keep in mind as I move forward to
Right.
accomplish some of my future goals. But before we move towards our closing, do either of you have any other important things you think you want to add, or any other thoughts about our new year or our goals moving forward?
I would just say if you have a larger goal, definitely set the smaller ones in place to reach the larger goal. Don't expect to go from, like you said, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And then be sad when you don't make it there because you didn't take the little steps to get there. So that's definitely my advice to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else, or you think?
Just everything in life takes discipline, and that little things come up. So, just try to be the best you can be for yourself and for others, because in the future you never know who you might need, and those people might or might not be there to help you, depending on how you were acting with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's definitely important just to be mindful of how you interact with others.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I like that. A great note to end on, I think.
Yeah.
And just to leave you all with some quotes before we end here today. So first, a person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder. I do really like that, because where would our direction be?
Right. A dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievement.
Setting goals is the first step that turns the invisible into the visible.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the Word on the Street podcast. Bye. See you next time.
Bye.